What's going on, world? It's Mike B here. I hope everything is going well with everyone today. Thanks for coming to the post to check out everything. Today, for the videography education series, we are going to talk about camera perspective. So, over the last weeks, if you've been following along, we've talked about camera framing, camera angles, and camera movement. But now we add all three of those things together and we add one additional component to creating our different shots so that way we can create dynamic looking scenes. And the next thing we're going to add in there is camera perspectives. Now, in every film you watch, in every TV show you watch, in every piece of content that you watch, although all content creators may not think of this, most are thinking about the perspective of that shot, right? So when we talk about camera perspective, we're talking about how and where our camera is placed in a shot, right? So if you go into a TV show or a movie, we think of camera shots and we think of how we want our camera to be placed. So one of the main things or main two perspectives that we think about are objective and subjective. When you're creating content, it's important to think of these two perspectives because it's going to allow your audience to either take the unobtrusive observer role or the common spectator role, or you actually want to place them in the scene and put them in the actual flow of the film, TV show, content, or anything like that, right? So the way we do this is we think about these two different perspectives, which are, like I said before, objective and subjective. But when we think of the objective perspective, it takes you as the viewer of the content, you're just taking the role as the spectator. Oftentimes we may see objective type of shots in all type of sporting events, in documentaries or situational comedies. And that's because if you're taking a subjective perspective, you're looking at things from the views or from the shoes of the actual individual that you're shooting, something like a over the shoulder shot. So if I'm having a conversation with somebody and it's flipping back and forth from one person looking at the other, that is a subjective shot. And then you also have the point of view aspect of things. So if you imagine if I put a mount or camera on my head and I was walking around the room and I showed you what I actually saw, that's another subjective experience. And also, like what I'm doing right now, I'm breaking the third wall and talking directly to you through the camera. That's also a subjective experience because it's me talking to you. I'm not communicating with any person outside of this particular scene. It's all about me and you right here. But furthermore, camera perspective allows you to immerse your audience into your film. Sometimes you just want to let them be a part of all the action that's going on, but some cases you actually want to put them in the actual scene. Let me let these dogs stop barking real quick. Alright, so as I was saying before, camera perspective is very important to think about when you get to creating those films. Yes, you can know how to frame and angle up and move around in your shot, but it's important as a videographer, cinematographer, to really think about how you want your audience to feel when they watch your film, because a lot of times it's not just about let me set this camera up in this perspective. Let me set this camera up in this shot type and I'm good to go. Because when you tell the story, you want to make sure that your audience follows along. You may have a protagonist who you want to win and your antagonist is trying to stop them. So changing your perspective of your camera, whether you're looking down or looking up at an individual, it gives your audience that feeling of, what side they're supposed to side with and what side they're supposed to be against. So definitely take the time this week and do some studying, watch some films, watch some TV shows, watch some sporting events, and just think about all of the different types of camera perspectives that are out there, because in most films you'll find that it's not always just one perspective. Everything's not just shot from one objective perspective the whole entire time. You may have a few shots that are subjective. So definitely look into those two different things as you start to really understand these concepts this week. And then To give you a little highlight or preview of what we're going to be talking about next week, we're going to talk all about the art of storyboarding. So now that we know how to frame our shots and how to actually create those shots, those dynamic looking shots, and we've added perspective in there, we need to start thinking about how we can actually put all of that knowledge to plan our actual shoots, right? We've learned about lighting, we've learned about the mindset, we've learned about camera terminology, and we've learned about actual camera gear. So as we add in all the different things about shot types, now we're going to start getting into how to actually create those films that we've been looking to create after all this time. So I really hope that this series, this videography education series, has been of value to you. If it has, be sure to like, share, comment, and let somebody know about it, because that's how we get our name out there. That's how I'm able to create more content that is useful for you. And like I said, this content, when I started out, it's for you individuals out there that are looking to get into this field. A lot of individuals who are in this field may already have an understanding of this knowledge, but for those of you that are looking to get started, it's important to have this knowledge, because you'll be able to create more intentional and meaningful content, and content that actually allows you to tell the story that you're looking to tell, because that was one of the biggest areas that I struggled with in the beginning, thinking about things outside of the box. So definitely take the time, go back, review some of the old posts, because next week we're going to get into storyboarding, and that is really going to give you an understanding of how to actually plan out a film from start to finish. And then we'll go from there. We'll get into some deeper topics to, maybe in another series, not in this series per se, but maybe in a later series we'll start to get into more deeper things like scripting and actually writing stories and such, because it doesn't just stop here. Everything that you learn along your way helps you become a better filmmaker, content creator, or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. So once again, thanks for checking us out here on Mike B Films. I'm Mike B. I hope you have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week, and we'll see you next time. So, peace.